Hi guys, just got back. I hope everyone's having an awesome day. Just back in my office. Still the wee hours of the morning, so I got a little bit of time. And I wanted to go over a console. I want to go over a console that seemed to be pretty cutting edge at the time, but it did flop. And it is Nintendo's Virtual Boy. Now, don't ask me why. I always thought this was called the Virtua Boy, but it is the Virtual Boy apparently. Maybe that's the Mandela effect. I don't know, and I have no idea why I thought that. Now, this only lasted a couple years from like 95 to 96, and I think it only had like 22, 23 games for it in general. So, really, not much platform support. Nintendo only sold about 770,000 of these, which is basically a mega flop. They are expensive now if you want to buy them, and you can see how something like this would break very easily with the way the stand and everything. It's just like a cheap tripod camera thing. You know, it had the controller and that, but you know, a kid could easily break this. And it was really panned by critics. It was just not that great of a system. And I've seen some footage of what the games actually look like in it and that. They look pretty bad. And obviously, with the way this was going, Nintendo kind of quit focusing on this because the N64 was coming out and they put all their eggs into that basket and their handheld stuff. And obviously, that worked out well for them. But it is unfortunate. It's one of those oddities that you don't see very often out and about. And if you do, very expensive. We're going to get into some bolos for the system and we're going to have a chat about it and let's get it going. Okay, guys, so the first on our list is baseball. Now, as you can see on the top, $68 brand new, $69 in the middle pre-owned, and then $28 on 24 bids on the bottom. All complete in the box. The 24 bids is a little bit low in my opinion for a game like this, just because the library is very small, and this is a pretty sought-after system, just because everyone loves Nintendo. The good thing about this is you can still get this game for a relatively good deal. You know, you might still find it for like 50 bucks around or something. Like, obviously, this person paid 28 plus shipping and taxes on eBay, so probably ended up being $50 anyways, right? Keep an eye out for Virtual Baseball. Next up, we have Bound High. Now, as you can see in the top, card only, $157. It says it's working. $488 complete in box, and then $166 for a cart only as well. Very expensive cart and a very expensive game on this system, guys. You'll find a lot of these are on the pricey side because they are actually rare, guys. You'll find a lot of the games in this system are pretty pricey, guys. They are rare. They didn't make a lot of them, obviously. Only 22 titles is crazy. So there's probably not a lot of them kicking around, and if you do find them, it would be awesome to add them to your collection. Now we'll go over the console itself. As you can see in the top, $1,327. This one did come with 3 games. The middle one, you got $1,187 with 2 games, and then $1,117 on the bottom. And that's just the console only. So yeah, you're gonna be $1,100 or $1,200 for the console, guys. If you get one of these bundles where there's some games thrown in, that's pretty cool. The one in the top looks really nice. There's 3 games in box, you know, and 2 games in the other one. So these all are from overseas, so just keep that in mind, guys. Prices may vary a little bit over here in North America, although I don't think they're too far off from these prices. This was the only example of this game I could find on eBay, and it is Faceball. It's a remastered cart, unreleased, so this isn't an old cart. I have a feeling this is like one of those homebrew type titles, and so it's one you might still be able to pick up a little bit easier. I'm not too sure. Next up, we have Fishing, and as you can see, 167 on the top, manual and cartridge game. Looks like everything's there, and then 125 on the bottom. And it looks like the bottom one is Japanese and the top one is North American, guys. Just keep that in mind. That's probably why the one in the bottom sold for a little bit less. Next up, we have Galactic Pinball. Now, as you can see in the top, $111 out of the US. It's complete in the box. 107 in the middle, also from the US, complete in box. And then 83 in the bottom, complete as well. So not a hugely expensive title for the system. You know, you're going to be around $100 for it. I really like how they did the covers and stuff on these. They're really attractive. You know, they would look good on a shelf and in your collection too. Keep an eye out for Galactic Pinball. So keep an eye out for Galactic Pinball. We got 3 different titles here, guys, so we'll get right into these. On the top, we have Golf. It's $128 complete. In the middle, we have a brand new one from Japan. It is Vertical Space. Bottom, we have Red Alarm, also from Japan. So just an idea of the cost of these titles. As you know, the ones from overseas tend to be a little cheaper for the most part. That just seems to be a trend. There are outliers to that, of course, so just keep an eye out for these. Next up, we have what I would call a bolo on the console. It is Hyper Fighting. This is obviously a Street Fighter game, guys. As you can see in the top, 557 complete. 488 in the middle complete, and then 488 complete on the bottom as well. So yeah, you're looking at a $500 game here, just because this has the Street Fighter characters and came out on the Virtual Boy. So it's Street Fighter and it's rare. That's why it's so expensive. This is probably the most expensive game on this system, and it is Jack Bros. As you can see in the bottom, 22 bids, 25.56. Absolutely crazy. The middle is just the manual, and then 1,222 for just the cart and a dust cover on it. Absolute insanity. They must have not made a lot of these. That's the only reason I could think that this price is so high, but this is probably one of the rarest ones on the console, and it's probably one of the most expensive as well, guys. We have Mario Clash. Now, as you can see on the top, $111. The middle looks complete for 103 on one bid, and then 69 on the bottom. Pretty good deal on the bottom. Even 103 complete for a Virtual Boy game. You know, a Mario game is pretty good in my opinion. These Mario games are easy to sell. I'm sure these games, they sell pretty much the instant they get put on there, knowing how the Nintendo fan base is. Up, we have another Mario game. It is Mario Tennis. Complete, $349 on the top, and then $20 for the cart only. I have a feeling maybe the cart only went a little bit lower than it should have, given that the complete version is $350. However, who knows? It just could be the way it is. Maybe it's just because the inserts have such a big value on this, which they probably do, guys, because it looks like this one has two different inserts plus the manual. So that's probably why. It's probably a mail away or something like that. Next up is Nestor's Funky Bowling. Now, as you can see on the top, we got $166. Box only for $83 in the middle, and then $139 on the bottom. Now, these are all US versions. It's a bit pricier of a game, not super expensive. Complete for $166 is not bad in my opinion. This stuff, myself, when I go into game stores, I rarely see stuff for the Virtual Boy. Next up, we have Panic Bomber, and as you can see on the top, $67 for the card only. $153 looks pretty complete in the middle there, both from the US guys. And then there's a lot of 3 games on the bottom. We won't get into that. There's stuff we're already covering or covered. But yeah, not a super expensive game, and it would be nice to add it to your collection. Next up, we have Space Invaders. Now, I don't know if this one is an original one or not. To me, I'm going to say no. It went for $977 on 21 bids. This might be like a homebrew or one of those offshoots. I really don't know, guys. Next time I'll take time to look some of these up and see. But again, it's just one of those things if you saw it out. And to me, to see like Space Invaders on the Virtual Boy would be very strange. So I'm going to go with that. It's probably not an original game, but it's just one to keep an eye out for. And any homebrew titles in general are usually worth a few bucks. Next up, we have Space Squash. Now, I believe these ones are region free. As you can see on the top, $236 on 12 bids, and then $195 in the middle, and then $311 on the bottom. They're probably all pretty complete from what it looks like. Didn't really display the bottom two, so it's hard to tell. The bottom one is brand new, obviously, so that's why it's so much more than the other two. Next up is Tellero Boxer. Now, we got 86 on the top. It says new others, so it's probably like new. 87 pre-owned in the middle, looks pretty complete, guys. And then there's just a game lot on the bottom. So not a hugely expensive title. Definitely wait and get it. You can get it for under $100. And with the way the economy is now, you might be able to haggle with someone and get it even cheaper than that. Especially if you go into a game store with cash or something, you know, offer them $50, maybe you can walk out with it. Next up is a couple Tetris titles. We have Tetris and Tetris 3D. Now the 3D version is the one that's worth way more. As you can see on the top, 251 23 bids. Then a new copy of the regular Tetris for $55 in the middle. And then 62 complete on the bottom as well. So yeah, the 3D version, definitely worth way more. But just keep an eye out for the Tetrises in general. Especially if you're collecting these, you definitely would want Tetris because it's a staple for that. Next up, we have a homebrew game. It is Virtual Warzone. And as you can see on top, $240 brand new. $418 in the middle, and then $419 new other on the bottom. So the person who bought the top one definitely got the steal of the day, I'm going to say. Almost half price compared to the other two opened ones. Awesome deal on this. Again, as I said, watch it for the homebrew games. They're almost all worth money, and they're probably pretty cool too. Next up, we have Wario Land. Now, as you can see on the top, $223 complete. 97 for the cart only, and then 551 brand new. I like to find these ones that have 3 different types in them. That way you can get a good idea of what the market's going to be if you're out buying this stuff. To me, I don't know if I'd shoot for brand new. That's pretty expensive, guys, but 223 is not too bad with the box. I mean, it is a Nintendo IP. It's going to be worth some money on this just because of the rarity. Momo sighting. That's going to do it for the Virtual Boy, guys. Again, no company is without failure. Nintendo is definitely in that category. You know, the Wii U bombed, the Wii U bombed, the Virtual Boy bombed. I'm sure there's other stuff that they put out that probably wasn't the best. And it goes with the territory. You can't win them all. Over the long run, I would say Nintendo is a big winner, though. They'll always have those IPs, so they'll always be able to sell some stuff. If you are able to have one of these or do have one in your collection, count yourself lucky because they are one of the big heavy hitters for the Nintendo stuff. I would like to get one, but I'm definitely not going to pay $1,000 for something like this, guys. And you know me, I like collecting stuff in the box, so this is probably going to be a no for me unless I find it super cheap somewhere. Otherwise, I'm okay with not owning it. It's just one of those things. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you're having an awesome day. Peace.